also have fair support here. So we wanted to choose a charity where these people needed food or they needed shelter, or we were going to be able to make a difference, because some charities have larger budgets. And so because this is kind of a hands-on grassroots type of event and very local, we wanted to have it a local charity and one where we were going to either put food on the table or give somebody heat in the cold winter. So this year we're working with Hunger Free Colorado, and they're kind of a first step for a lot of people that may not have a meal or maybe even shelter for the night. And in emergency, they will give people like a $50 gift card for the grocery store, but they also have resources where they can direct people on how to work with the system and how to get by. Because, I mean, a lot of people, don't choose to be homeless unless they have some people, we have a lot of veterans too that have a lot of mental issues, and therefore they're homeless, and it's for a variety of reasons. But nevertheless, we want to make sure that people are fed. And so I think it's really appropriate because we have these amazing restaurants that contribute to it, and they get asked for a lot of donations too. So we really, really appreciate that they attend our event, because these are really good chilies. I mean, these people put quality ingredients in them. This is not like just cheapo hamburger and beans and so. I mean, these are pretty fancy chilies that take a lot of time.
Quick question for you. I know I'm in the land of green chitty chili. What's it called? These are going to be red chilies, correct? Delicious red chilies?
We want everyone...
We're open-minded here. None of that southern shit.
We want everyone to be very creative. It could be white bean, it could be green, it could be red.
It could be vegetarian.
We have an amateur bringing a Cincinnati chili.
Skyline style?
Which I have a hard time with pasta and chili. I grew up kind of a Frito chili guy, Texas style. But because of that, we have People's Choice, where the general public gets to vote, and then we have a blind judges tasting where they get to decide, is this actually chili or is this a little bit way too out there?
Yeah, and it's really interesting to listen in on the judges in past years, because they'll say, like, this is really delicious, but is there chili in here? Like, they want to make sure there's chili in the chili, because some people specialize more in like a mole, or they might have an Italian influence, but you need to have something in there that indicates that it's chili.
Okay, so you mentioned you have some restaurants and local chefs around here competing, but you also have an amateur category, don't you?
We do. We have the home chefs. So a lot of people brag about their chili. They think it's the best. So this is an opportunity for people to come on down and see what you have. And again, we have the Critics' Choice and the People's Choice. So when people come in and they've purchased a ticket, and they might get some drink tickets also, but they also get beans. And so we have white beans and red beans, and one color bean is for the amateurs, the home chef. I want to say home chef because some home chefs aren't really amateurs. They're really quite good. And actually, it's amazing. Some of them are really good. So don't poo-poo the home chefs.
Guys that come over, they're not working this week, but they're going to come over here and just try to ruin some dreams?
I mean, it's just like a hobby where some people take their cooking really seriously. And we used to not have a Critics' Choice for amateurs. But 2 years in a row, a gentleman showed up with chili that was just off the charts, and he wasn't winning. So the third year, we had a couple of past winners come in, and I think we had a food critic in the judges panel as well, and he ended up winning. But People's Choice is generally the people that are having the most fun, the most spirited, that are able to talk into getting
to coax a bean out of someone.
Some of the better chefs may be a little bit more introverted, and they weren't getting the People's Choice. So the blind judges kind of cleared that all up.
I kind of like this idea. I also kind of feel like, I don't know if y'all are fans of the show The Office.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Have y'all ever seen it when Michael and Jim have to divvy up promotions to people like in half percentages? So they go around putting Boston baked beans on different people's faces across the office. That's how I feel like.
That's kind of how this works.
And we're going to be here. We're going to bring the camera crew down. We obviously everyone knows over at No Vacancy CO we have a YouTube channel as well where we do debaucherous dumb shit. We're going to be down here, Liddy McTitty, eating chili, drinking some booze, and I do want to, I kind of want to harp on, like, we talk about amateur chefs. And Chris is kind of in that boat. Chris has worked underneath Merlin Verrier and over at the kitchen with Kimball Musk and those crew. And then now he has to have a real person job, and it sucks. And so that's why we're making this all happen. But I want to talk, let's highlight. I want to tell these folks why they want to be here. You mentioned Alex Steele and his team will be here. But, everyone in your neighborhood has fire food. We were driving over here and we were talking about Table 6. I took my family there for our Christmas dinner last year. That's a heater restaurant.
Yeah.
And then you have Adam Vero over at Hearth and Dram. His team is knocking the socks off of things. Shout out to our girls over at Feast Denver and Feast Locally. We have some seriously big name restaurants on here for people. They need to come down here Sunday afternoon.
October 21st.
October 21st.
Yep.
And so we'll be down here. I think Broncos are on the road that day, so you don't have to miss anything.
I think it's a Thursday night game.
Perfect.
I think you guys planned that really well.
Everyone
we
plans
did.
their events around the Broncos games.
And I don't know how early we need to put in a ticket to be a competing amateur, but let's say
call it amateur, like they do over.
Okay.
All right.
Let's say next year, Team No Vacancy, we want to be a part of this chili cook-off, and we'll fill out the forms and all that stuff necessary. But let's kind of give our listeners, if I come down here on October 21st for the chili cook-off, what all am I going to get?
What do we expect? What should they expect besides a buzz and come hungry and come thirsty?
A whole lot of fun, really. Come hungry and come thirsty.
And come early.
Yeah.
Come early, get the chili when it's fresh and being served, and then come ready to
bring some bills in your pocket too. We have fun
a silent
games.
auction with a lot of great items.
I'm actually looking at some of this. Can I go ahead and tip the hand a little bit as to, entice them, bring your cash?
Yep.
Because it looks like we have some Icelandic skis.
Exactly.
We have some Moscow Mule cups. We have swag from companies like Arc'teryx, as well as it seems that we may even have some mezcal and some other booze that'll tickle your fancy. Y'all got shit for days we'll be auctioning off.
Yeah, we've got a lot of great stuff. We also auction off our rare whiskeys. Everyone wants the kind of hard-to-get bourbons. We decided to donate ours to charity. So
that's a noble cause,
so
right
you
there.
You don't have to call or ask questions. You just have to come down and support a local charity and eat good chili.
I like it. And so we actually have a whiskey aficionado on our team, same dude, the native, and he had just snagged a bottle of Pappy, and so he will be down here because he is going to be vying in the raffle for y'all's whiskey as well. And I believe everyone in the Colorado Whiskey Group, I'm speaking directly to you sons of bitches because I know you. Y'all should come down here. There's some top shelf alcohol that's going to be around, but we also have distilleries and breweries galore. I feel this is going to scratch the itch for just about everybody in Denver, unless you're a sober vegan. That may not work.
Real quick, the distilleries there that have been supporting this event for years and are coming back and serving some of their product would be Leopold Brothers, Deer Hammer, Law's Whiskey House, Wheelhouse Cocktails, Bear Creek Distillery, which will be making an amateur chili, and State 38 as well will be making an amateur chili and serving their product. So
that's awesome. So what time does the event start?
It starts at noon, and it lasts until 4. We'll have music from KUVO because they're a partner of ours. We have a lot of fun games that you can win prizes that are super fun. It's a family event. We'll have a jumpy castle and some other things for
There's
kids
not a
to do.
limit for the jumpy castle, is there?
Well, you look pretty skinny.
I know I am.
Yeah, you're pretty fit, so
I wouldn't say
you might
fit,
work.
but
I do have a
Trim.
I do appreciate that. Well, I don't want to necessarily. Let's get back to this food for a second. I want to know who won last year, and let's get a little dirty with that. I know Josh and I were talking about that earlier. It was kind of like a pairing or maybe a booze based.
Yeah, sometimes alcohol influences, and I won't say they had an amazing chili, but Aaron from Table 6, he always brings Proximus tequila. And he hands that out to patrons, and so that kind of gets
beans from Kip.
Bean chili is always phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. So last year in our blind judges' choice, Balistreri Vineyards, which is Mason Balistreri works here. You mentioned him before as being so helpful and so knowledgeable. And that's his family, and they brought some wine, and they actually had the winning chili from the judges. And then Uno Mas, which is Patrick White, and he's down the block. And then Charcoal had a really good chili, too, that the judges chose. And then for People's Choice, Mizuna, which is one of Frank Bonanno's restaurants, Fruition. And Tony from Cafe Brazil, who's been a big supporter of ours. And, I want to give a shout-out to them because
that place is fire over there.
It is, and
diamond in the rough. People don't they don't know about where it is.
They don't.
How good it is.
And it's been there forever. It's not been in that location, but they had a little tiny adobe house on Navajo, and they were getting rave reviews, and that was over 20 years ago. And Tony is such a nice guy, and his whole team over there, and really soft-spoken, but he takes a lot of pride in the chili. It takes him about a week.
They win about every other year.
Yeah,
that's what you want to hear.
Yeah,
That's
he
passion.
brines it, he smokes things, he does all these different things to his chili, and the way that people... what's the word I'm looking for when you top it with different toppings and garnish the chili. We've had Jeff Osaka before. He's been busy opening restaurants now, but one year he did just something simple like grinding up the Frito chips.
Went with like the Frito pie from Texas, but kind of deconstructed it a little bit. And I think he placed second that year.
Yeah, it was really so good.
I like the fact that y'all are they may not have won, but this one is so damn delicious that I can remember it 4 years later.
Oh, well, Fruition's made...
It's a good chili.
They've made little tamales, like homemade tamales that go on the side. Or we had, I can't remember who it was, made a sorbet one year, a chili sorbet that went on the side of the chili.
That's clever right there.
Yeah, so everybody's, a lot of times people are trying to one-up each other. But also, there's something to be said about just really good, straightforward chili. Sometimes people are like, I just really like this chili. It just is, it's kind of like wine. It's really well-balanced.
Kind of feels as well.
Right.
Like you mentioned you're a Texas chili guy. I'm kind of in the same boat. And when you said tamales, that really tickled my fancy. That's a big thing up in the Mississippi Delta. Obviously there's fuck tons of corn, so they make, but it's all red. We don't have green down there. Does not exist.
Yeah, so yes, we do have red, green, and white. And then one time I think we even had in the amateurs we had a vegetarian chili win.
That's a bold play. That's a bold play. Now I'm going to go ahead and ask you. I'm not discouraging folks to bring their vegetarian chili down here. How'd that taste?
In fact,
it won.
Yeah, it won.
Yeah,
it won our amateur. In fact, it
really.
Was,
yeah.
It was Autumn who we had mentioned, whose idea this was, and her husband and one of their friends made it a vegan chili, and it won. They were definitely...
They're working the crowd, yeah.
Worked the crowd, but...
It was a good chili.
We have, and, Watercourse has been here. We always try to get, a few vegan and vegetarian chilies just to cover all the bases.
So for our listeners out there, it's not just meat exclusive. It's not just booze. We'll have sodas. We'll have, date back to the old Enjoy days. We'll have Coke,
trust me, they drink
colas,
plenty
whatever.
of booze back then.
But they'll have everything for everybody, pretty much, is what you're saying. And so let's kind of dive back into it. Where can we, if you want to buy tickets in advance, that's honestly the preferred method. It may help out. We're going to have a link over at the No Vacancy CEO website. We'll have a link on the Instagram page, which is maybe the reason you saw this or listening to this. How else can our listeners get a hold of tickets to this booming event?
You can go online at joywineandspirits.com, and there's just a button right there, and you can buy them online. And then we'll have a will call list, and you can just show up day of. But we also sell tickets in the store. They're $20 beforehand, and they're going to be $25 day of. So we recommend getting them sooner than later.
And I have to stress, we go over this every year. I'm like, these tickets should be more money. We want to raise more money for the charity. We're still trying to support the community, but this is like a bargain. You cannot go to any of these restaurants and get anything for $25.
Look at Top Taco and Best Hamburger. You get into those events, and it's a lot more money. But we also just want to keep it fun for the community as well.
And we haven't even talked about the breweries.
Yeah, that's what we're going to that next. We're going to work our way down because we are almost a food, booze, and Colorado. That's 90% of what we do. So the rest of it's and I guess ancillary at this point, let's dive into it after what Chris says.
But yeah, so why not on October 21st scratch that brunch idea that you had where you'll just spend, $30 to $40 at some restaurant, coming down to Joy and Wine and Spirits and make yourself feel better by donating to a good cause.
Drinking for a good cause.
Drinking for a good cause and eating chili. Responsibly, yes.
Actually, we don't have to, y'all may have to say that. We will drink responsibly here, but Chris and I will be drinking for a good cause.